Maybe a little hairs are sticking out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm black, so I don't understand what you want me to do about it.
Okay, I'm just trying to tell you, you can be black. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're already a subscriber, then you know my name is Nella, aka Naturally Nella. Follow me on Instagram at Naturally Nella. Before we get too deep into the video, I just want to remind you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can receive a notification every single time I upload a video, okay? So today I wanted to do something a little bit different on my channel because most of my videos are hair related, but I wanted to incorporate something different, and I'm gonna continue to incorporate different videos on my channel. But today we're talking about being married in our 20s and basically what it's like. So we met when I was 21 and you were
22.
Okay, so we went to different colleges. He just moved to my neighborhood. Yeah, you moved to my neighborhood. We're close to my neighborhood. And my roommate at the time, they were from the same neighborhood, the Sticks, the country. Are you laughing? Oh, so they're both from the Sticks, and
we get it. We're from the country. We get it.
They're both from the Sticks, and when he moved to Durham, he didn't really know a lot of people there. My roommate was married at the time, so it was kind of like disrespectful for her to be hanging out with him. So she was like, can you take him around the city, show him around? I was like, no. And she was like, why? Like, that's my friend, you know, I don't want to disrespect my husband. Can you please just show him around the city? So eventually, after like a week, I would say, I was like, okay, like, I'll show him around. And
it wasn't even a week. It was like 3 days later.
3 days later, whatever, a week, 3 days later, 5 days later. A few days later, because he had been at my apartment before. That's a little backstory. He had been there like once or twice before she told me to take him out. But we didn't talk much. But yeah, so where was I? Baby, you got a black kid. It was a few days later. I don't know how many days later. But I hit him up. I was like, hey, Jamel wants me to take you around Durham because you're new. He was like, what did you say?
I had something going on.
He tried to play me.
I actually had a function to go to.
Well, I didn't believe him. I was like, he's trying to play me, and I'm not even interested in him for real. Let's just be clear. Neither one of us was interested in each other. I'm like, he is so country. He's like, she is so, I don't know what his thought was.
Blah.
Disrespectful. He thought I was just blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. But anyway, he tried to play my face. And then like a few days later, he texted me back and he was like, oh, are you free today? And I was like, oh, so now you free.
It was the very next day, by the way. But
I think it was like 3 days later.
I remember this story precisely.
Okay, whatever. An unspecified amount of time later, since neither one of us can agree on a date, he hit me back up and he said, hey, are you free today? And I was like, okay, now he wants to be free. So we agreed to hang out and go watch Harry Potter because I'm weird like that. He was like, I ain't watching no Harry Potter with you. Long story short, he agreed to watch Harry Potter. He loved it. We grabbed a bike. Mind you, we're in college. Should I tell them the money story? Or is that like TMI? We in college, you know, I'm a little spoiled, okay? I was working, first of all, and I'm spoiled. He's new to the city. He kind of, you know, struggling or whatever. So I'm like, let's go out to eat. He like, the movie was good enough. I'm broke. I don't have no money. I'm ready to go back to my dorm or his apartment. Like they put them in an apartment. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's okay. Like, we can go get some food. Like, I got it. He was just like, no, like, what I look like? And I was just like, you acting like we on a date or something. Like, we were genuinely not feeling each other at all. Like, so I'm like, it's not like it's a date. I'm just a nice person. And I'm hungry and I don't want to eat this Chili's.
It was Chili's.
Chili's by myself. So we go to Chili's. I order good. I think I got some steak. I got some good stuff. This man ordered some wings. He was so reluctant to go, but he eventually agreed. And I paid for our food on our first outing. Not our first date, but our first outing as friends. And we were just talking. He was like, why did you like offer to buy my food? That is so weird. And I'm like, I don't know what kind of friends you got, but that's how my circle gets down. But anyway, that's another story for another day. He did agree to go out to eat with me, and we had fun. Ever since that day, we've been like butt buddies, inseparable. People thought we were dating when we weren't dating because we literally hung out every single day. So,
which is kind of weird now that I think about it.
It is kind of weird. It's very weird.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we eventually, I don't even know when it transitioned into like we're feeling each other, but it just kind of happened.
So we got married when we were 25.
We both were 25. I caught up to him in age. Yeah.
She just turned 25 the month before. We got married in February. It was extremely cold. There's a lot of snow. We didn't know we were going to have the wedding actually. Initially, we were supposed to have it a whole year from when we talked about getting married.
No, we were going to have it that fall.
The following year.
The fall of that year. We just moved it up a couple months. Several months, actually.
So it was going to have an August wedding. But then, Noah couldn't wait. So she said, no, I want to expedite this wedding. I want us to do this in 6 months. I can't wait any longer or whatever. So yeah, we ended up getting married at 25. Some would say it's young.
I was ready. He was ready.
Both were ready.
We actually both were ready. But I was just like, why wait?
Exactly. Like, what's the point in...
And he talking like he didn't agree. He was like, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was for it, but initially I thought it was going to be extremely tough.
Because weddings are expensive.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, 6 months, I think we can do it. But with the help of some others, like our parents, we pulled it off.
We did pull it off. Let's be clear. We paid for 95% of our wedding, and our wedding was about 15.
Yeah, roughly 15.
$15,000. We paid for about 92%
yeah.
of the wedding with our own money.
I think that's a fair percentage.
Yeah, 92%. When planning a wedding, and I kind of did, but not really, but when planning a wedding, I think it should really just be about you and your spouse and not so much worrying about what your friends will feel, what your families would feel, because to be honest, I was excited for like the first month of planning, but for the remainder of planning, I was completely disconnected from wedding planning because I quickly realized that it wasn't something that I really wanted. I really did it so that my family and close friends could witness the day. But if it were really up to me, or if I could really go back, I would have saved that $15,000. Well, I would say 14,000 something, about 14,000 that we spent. I would save that and I would have eloped, honestly, because I mean, my wedding day, I personally felt like after, like I said, a month, it wasn't about them. It was about me and my husband. Like, why did I take into account how everybody else felt so much?
However, you need to go in with the mindset of having no regrets. So whatever you choose to do, you have to promise yourself that you won't look back and say, I wish I had done that. It needs to be strategically planned out.
Even though I'm saying this at the end of the day, we had a beautiful wedding. I loved it. Everything went smoothly, like every single thing, even with the blizzard. Everybody pretty much showed up for the most part. And it was a beautiful day, one I will never forget. So, yeah. To me, I felt like nothing changed after we got married, because after we got engaged, we moved in together like shortly after. And I know I'm not saying that you should. That's just our choice. Because we do what works best for us. We don't really concern ourselves with the public's opinion. So we wanted to move in together. We did. Things were great. We got along. What am I talking about?
But I think also what helped is being as though we were around each other so much. Start picking up on little things we do that helped us, I guess, grow as a couple and to understand, like, okay, that's your weird thing. You know, I didn't have to find that out later type deal. Like, I know that going in. So basically the title just changed for us.
Mm-hmm. What I will say has changed since marriage and continues to change is our bond. Like, I feel like the other day, I feel like actually within recent months, we've like grown so close. And he's literally my best friend. And why are you smirking?
I'm smirking.
Seriously, that's one thing that I'll say. Like, that's the most noticeable thing is our bond. It's like the longer we stay together, I don't know, the stronger our bond is becoming, especially as of lately.
And we don't get in each other's nerves.
Yeah.
Maybe like twice a year.
Honestly. Okay, if you could say, this is kind of going into the next topic. We can save it.
I think it's pretty chilled. We don't get in each other's nerves. We don't argue much at all. Maybe it's like twice a year.
So we've been together for, what is that, 7 years, I guess? 2011. Yeah. What we're in 2018.
Yeah, 7 years.
So we've been together 7 years. If you can give a number of the amount of like major arguments we've gotten into, what would you say?
Wait, major arguments?
Major. Like,
about 7 years?
Yes, like I can't deal. Get out of my face right now.
Oh, well, that's a different level. That's probably like maybe 5, if that.
Maybe 5. I would agree with that. That's a good number. And like, as far as like little petty arguments, if we ever argue, it's something so petty, like not worth arguing over, and it's not something that we ever dwell on. Like, we might like, side eye each other for a few hours, but after that, it's just like, look, Insecure is coming on. You ready? Because we watch all our shows together and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we definitely push past that quick. Come on. You play too much. I ain't recording with you no more.
We also communicate effectively. Because we personally think it's very important. You can't know what's going on, you can't read somebody's mind, you know what I mean, throughout our marriage. So, if something is bothering one or the other, we ask questions and we try and fix, or we try and compromise.
Yeah, we definitely talk about, look, y'all, look, baby, I don't know why you keep falling out this chair, but you need to get it together and stop leaning forward. Just to piggyback off what he said, communication is one of those things, and one of the main reasons why I think our marriage is so strong is because we literally talk about pretty much everything. Like, if I have a problem with something, I may not say it right away, or he definitely may not say it right away, but we definitely get around to talking about it, and we talk to each other and not at each other. So let's just say he's doing something, or he does something that he don't really get on my nerves that much. I'm trying to give an example of something that you do so I can just like give them an understanding of what I mean.
Well, we're waiting.
Example. I have an example. I feel like sometimes, well, all the time really, he's gotten better, but he's a very blunt person. And he would say certain things, and I'm like, well, damn. Like, you don't have to be a butthole. And, like, I know that he has a really kind heart, and his intention is not to be mean or hurt my feelings. So instead of turning up on him like, Negro, why you had to say that? You're getting on my nerves. Like, no. I just kind of put something positive out there first. Like, babe, I really love the space that we're in right now. Things are going so well. Our communication continues to strengthen. However, sometimes when you say certain things, I think you need to learn to reword them or rephrase them, because it hurts my feelings. And yeah, instead of attacking, I just kind of like tell him how I feel and try to get him to understand why I feel that way, whether it's his intention or not. And usually that gets through. So talking to him instead of at him, and him talking to me instead of at me, kind of keeps things like really smooth. And I think that's why we don't really fuss that much, because it's a lot of talking to instead of at, and trying to get your point across.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I have a son. Well, we have a son now, but before we met, my son, or when we met, my son was 2 and he's 22. So that's like him being super young and being like a father figure when he didn't, biologically produce a child. How did you feel about that?
I felt fine, because I've always looked after my goddaughter. And, so I seen Malachi and her, I'm like, okay. But I was putting some other things to perspective as well. It wasn't just randomly that I just accepted them. It was more so of, okay, she's in college. She's trying to do something with her life. And on top of that, she's trying to take care of her son. So it's easier when you see those different components come together, and it's like, okay, her head is on straight. So I'm pretty sure her best interest is in for him, and, not necessarily to try to do any wrong or to be a deadbeat, so to speak. So, and then he was just easier to deal with at that age, I think, because I like kids anyway. I still got the first picture I ever took of him when they were standing in the megabus, the line. I think I'm gonna keep that picture forever.
You do have that picture. I'm gonna put it up here so y'all can see it. But it was weird because, we were hanging out as friends. And when I first asked him, like, how do you feel about me having a child? Because my son is like my number one priority. So I'm like, how do you feel about me having a son? He was like, what you mean? I'm like, he was just so unfazed and like willing to kind of jump in. And it was just like, what do you mean? What do I mean? He was just like, you have a son. Like, it is what it is. And that's just,
I just don't think it's fair, for some people to just react off of certain things that they bring into a relationship, because you just don't know what they've gone through. And, maybe their head is probably in the right space or whatever the case may be. So you can't just jump to conclusions because of what they have when they come. If you like that person, you like that person. It's really not rocket science to me.
Basically, I was solid, sis. Solid, okay? I'm just playing. Mally! We calling him in here. He's playing Fortnite. Come here! Come here!
Listen, while we're doing this video, please tell me they're like twins. Eyebrows, eyes.
No, don't.
The
Do
nose.
not do it. Do not. Please.
I don't think we look alike.
Me either. I don't see it.
This is Malachi, the kiddo we were talking about. Don't mind his lips right now. This is his morning phase. It's really early right now. But yeah, this is Mally. Stop. They don't want to see your brain.
Hello.
People say that they look alike more than he looks like me, and I don't. That makes no sense. But that's what they say. They're like, "Oh my God, he's a perfect mix." We be like,
Right.
Bye. Do you want to have kids in the future, baby?
Nah, I don't. Of course, yes, we want to have kids in the future. But right now, we're just really comfortable with life. And when the right time comes, the right time will come.
Exactly. We'll have kids one day. Yeah. Well, more kids one day.
Yeah, more kids. How many you want?
Soccer fan.
2 or 3 more.
4 more. I jump up and down. 1 minute I'm like 1 more. Then I'm like 4. Then I'm like, I don't know. I just like kids. So we can talk all day about our love. We could literally talk about our marriage all day, but we didn't want to make the video way too long. So if you want to see more videos like this, let us know in the comments and we'll be sure to make some more. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share it, follow me on Instagram at @NaturallyNella. Thank you guys so much for joining me in Husband.